Let's stick the punch in and see how far it will go. So that far into the gun, there is absolutely nothing holding this side of the disconnector on. That pin is entirely too short to do what it's meant to do. Ryan Am here, and what you see before you is a post-range session R51 Gen 2 that's been disassembled, and we will jump right into it. So, item number one, you will notice at the rear of this receiver there is a small hole. I've got a punch that's suspiciously the same size as that hole. And you will see there is not much to be seen in that hole. Look over at the other side, and you will see a shiny pin. When I originally looked through this, I saw the disconnector just floating off in space like it is now. I didn't really notice it before the range session, or I don't think I would have fired it. Let's stick the punch in and see how far it will go. So that far into the gun, there is absolutely nothing holding this side of the disconnector on. It's disconcerting because that pin is entirely too short to do what it's meant to do, to act as a pivot point for the ejector and for the disconnector here. It was actually just barely holding the ejector on and not holding the disconnector on at all. That pin is meant to go all the way through. This came from the factory that way. To come from the factory with a pin that doesn't even fit all the way through the gun. This is the pin I got. This is not a roll pin. This is not what was intended to be there. All the internal parts are this way. You hear that? Drag your finger across there and you can hear it catch. See that edge? That edge is not deburred at all. It's the same way on the top. This edge, same thing. I guess I could deburr that, and I will before I put it back in the gun, but I don't even know if I want to take the disconnector out, and that has got some horrible burrs on it. You could see the rough edges and the burrs and everything like that. On the ejector where it goes through the frame, they've hogged this out and it was not finished. Here's the wear on the front end of the bolt recess, the shoulder where it locks against. You can see that's a significant amount of wear. Now let's go on to the bolt. If you could tell, there are gall marks, and use my other pointer here. There are gall marks right in there where the bolt is being lifted. And you can see in this light, there is some pretty deep galls in that surface, and that is where the bolt is being lifted. It's this motion right here. Right there, that lug on the side of the slide engages in that area, and it has been just chewing it up. After 100 rounds, that's how much galling I have. Now, does that affect function? I agree, the tool ammo was probably a bad choice. I will show you first of all the best looking cases of the Remington. This is the Remington primer, and you can see how little it is cratered compared to the ones I was showing you in the video. So yes, good quality brass, and this is about the worst of them. Good quality brass does make a difference in terms of function. You will see there's a little cut, a little mark that goes out from that firing pin. I don't consider that to be a bad thing necessarily. It won't affect function, but you will see that on all the primers. So the neat thing is I know exactly what orientation this brass was in the gun because you could see the corresponding microstamp on the primer. Let's demonstrate with some of my Remington brass for the 9mm. The 9mm actually is solid right up until that point. So everything behind that is immaterial. It doesn't matter if that's supported or not. Everything there and forward, it does matter. As looking inside of the case, you can see that that is all thin webbing of the case itself. Now when you look at a 1911 barrel, you can see how much that is supported on that barrel. So there's just a little bit left. So that is a fully supported case. See how far inside that ramp goes? You can see, I'm not trying to distort anything. That ramp goes a good ways down, and that 9mm brass, when it's sitting there, is unsupported that entire ramp. And the reason I know this is because when you get crap ammo, like the tool ammo, look at how beautiful that is. When you get crap ammo like the tool ammo, it gives you a direct impression of the ramp creased into the super soft junk brass. And you can see that that was where the case was when that crease was created. Locked case, partially extracted, is in exactly that position. So the pressure in the gun was still high enough when the case was set back that far and the slide was in motion to bulge out the case. Do not for a minute tell me that this case is fully supported. Don't use tool ammo brass max. Don't use that in your R51, and you may not have any problems. Also, check your pin. You may not have any problems there. So I can't shoot my gun anymore, and the reason I can't shoot my gun is because this pin is inadequate. I'm going to wait for Remington to decide what to do. Hopefully they will send me a new pin. If they decide not to, I have enough gunsmithing skills that I can make my own pin, but I do not want to do that. I want Remington to make it right. So what's my verdict on the Remington R51 Gen 2? Well, it remains to be seen. Let's see if I can get that pin in, and then I will try some better ammunition. It might have been a little harsh because the tool ammo, of course, was causing some of the malfunctions, and the Remington performed okay. They sent me a gun with a half a pin instead of a full pin, or a roll pin, or whatever it was supposed to have. It doesn't explain the galling on the bolt, and frankly, I would like those things explained. So what's the verdict? The verdict is still out. We will see. I'll shoot some more real ammo through it once I get my pin issue fixed, and I will post an updated report. It's Ryan Ham. If you enjoyed this video, or if you did not, please comment down below and tell me why not. I'll see you at the range. That trigger motion. Remington. Seriously. Fix it. Come on, it's a trigger. This is your job. You do triggers. Well, I'm sorry. Well, maybe not on the Remington Model 700. You don't do good triggers. In case any of you were wondering, the original case that I had from my out of battery discharge video, I found it. It is a Winchester Western cartridge. You know, my Glock 26 has been 100% reliable with tool ammo. This surface right here is very sharp. This surface right here is very sharp. And this surface right here, while not being very sharp, is definitely an angle and not rounded off or anything like that. And that combination there was hurting my hand right here. So this is a design flaw. They're not going to fix that